Troy here, aka the Father Figure Coach. We're here for another episode of Troy Tries. I'm here with Alex Downs, the owner of South Coast Strongman. Thank you so much for having us here.
No worries.
The place is so cool. It's like a big adult playground.
Big rocks, pick it up, put it up onto a platform. We're not in a race, it's not a competition. The front prongs dip and you'll hit the ground. It'll whip and it'll hit the back and neck.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable. Push. You're only going to ever be able to lift how much you can actually hold. That's it. Good. Heavy weight for a small distance.
This place is so cool. I'm like a kid in a playground. This is the best. What's up guys, Troy here, aka the Father Figure Coach. We're here for another episode of Troy Tries. I'm here with Alex Downs, the owner of South Coast Strongman and an Australian competitive strongman himself. Firstly, thank you so much for having us here.
No worries.
This place, we were just saying before, this place is so cool. It's like a big adult playground. I'm getting so excited by seeing all the equipment. But in chatting before, you've had some pretty cool achievements within strongman, and obviously owning a gym as cool as this is really impressive. Are you happy to sort of tell us a bit about your journey to get here?
Yeah, for sure. So I came into the sport in 2016. All the shirts up on the wall there, all the competitions that I've done, and from there it was I went over to Asia, the Hong Kong Asia Arnold Classic. From there I basically seen a couple of big guys in sort of the green beret strip down into gym gear and pull a truck, and I was obviously still power building and training in a normal gym, and seeing that that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do that. So from there, I came back to Sydney, found the local gym, and started from there. And from that, the sort of rest is history. Done a couple of New South Wales Strongest Mans. I've done a couple of Strongman Nationals. I've competed in the Arnolds, and then done a couple of comps now in my own gym, which is kind of cool to give back to the community.
That's
so,
man.
Yeah, it's been good fun.
And you said part of your strongman career got interrupted a bit with COVID. You had cool...
So 2019 was my biggest year. I had gone down and took out the ACT Strongest Man. A couple of weeks after that, I then took out the ACT Static Monsters, which is the axle deadlift that Matty's training on at the moment. And then the log, which is behind us, it's a two-lift event, which is then ranked internationally. So you compete with everyone in Australia, and then those rankings then get put up onto a website, and you then get to see where you are sort of around the country, around the world.
Yeah, wow.
From that, I was then invited to Southern Hemisphere Strongest Man. So it was going to be held in March 2020. It was going to be sort of the best of the best, and unfortunately, it was March 2020 when we hit with COVID, and everything sort of went downhill from there. So, but training went good, and from there it was sort of time to take a break a bit and focus on the business and focus on that.
Perfect. And did you have a favourite lift or a best lift or best movement when you were competing? Was there something
when I was competing, the log was my favourite lift.
Yeah.
The idea of just throwing a brute piece of steel overhead was a big feat of strength for me.
Yeah.
Sort of the biggest log that I'd lifted at comp was 150 kilos, which was well over what I weighed. So to me, that was a personal best. And so working towards that at the moment, building back to that strength. But I'm also 25 kilos lighter at the moment. So we'll see how we go.
Looking at some of the athletes you've had in here today, they don't look very much like me. So I could be a bit out of my depth. But what are we looking at today?
Today we're basically going to run you through the foundations of strongman. So we're going to look at the yoke, which is the implement behind us, so here with the red, and we've obviously got the big one up behind it. The next movement that we're going to run into will be the farmers, which are here. It's very much like taking groceries in at one time. From there, we're then going to run into the log, which is going to be upright there. So the Fenrir log and the timber, it's very much the replica of the World's Strongest Man events. And then we're going to finish up on the stones, which is a staple of all strongman events. So big rocks, pick it up, put it up onto a platform, and go from there. So find out what's going to be more suitable for you. So get yourself centered underneath it. Think of where your feet are as center of gravity, because again, you're going to be pushing directly up. Good. How do your hands feel there?
Hands felt good, yeah.
Okay, potentially with your shoulder, because I know your shoulder injury, I would potentially go a bit wider. So try the wider stance, because the wider your hands go, the more platform it creates over the shoulder cavity.
Okay.
All right, so try that again.
So wrap right
so from there,
like
even if you want, hold them inwards.
Okay.
Yeah. So go through a stance. Good. That looks a lot more comfortable and it looks a lot more secure.
Yeah.
So going back down. So as I mentioned before, the idea of the actual yoke, once you get it up into a standing position, you just want to take small steps,
Yep.
okay? Not looking down of where you are, keeping yourself upright, that way the center of gravity is holding down through the body. You just want to keep a slight pace walking through.
Okay.
Okay? Keeping your arms and legs as stiff as possible.
Yep.
And go through the motions.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so when you're ready, we'll go through a pick and then we'll start walking again.
Yep.
Just take your time, we're not in a race, it's not a competition.
Yep.
Just focus on making it to the end opposed to dropping
And when we
it
get to the end, just put it
Wait,
back
so
down. I don't need to turn
the
off.
dismount at the end.
Yeah.
Slide out.
So
okay? So as you come there, you're just going to drop a knee and go out.
That'll catch itself and all.
It'll catch itself, okay? The only reason I say that is because if you go down and one side is still on the ground, it'll whip and it'll hit the back and neck.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable.
Okay.
All right, so when you're ready, head up. That's it, a little bit longer in the step, the whole way. All right, and on my core, you're just gonna drop a knee and go down, down. That's it. So more so just one leg, you don't need to go down on both. You get a couple of steps in, and then it's just
Okay.
like that. That way, it's sort of, the best way to explain it's to duck into water.
Yeah.
You just glide through and come out. In competition, they do sometimes do a drop and then turn around. So it's all about speed then. You've got to be able to drop quickly, turn around, pick it up, and race again.
Yeah.
The only downfall to that though is whilst it's at this height, as you pick up and then you go take that step forward, the front prongs dip and you'll hit the ground.
Yeah,
So you
right.
need to be very mindful on how you then pick up and the speed behind it. That's
Yeah.
why I say pick first.
Yeah.
And then focus, because it's easy to focus on the pick, then take the steps, opposed to taking the step, straight into it, digging it, and having to re-pick it again.
Yeah,
So some of the guys lift up to 400, 455 kilos on these things.
Fucking hell.
You don't want to have to overpick that a few times.
Yeah. More based on like speed, like how quick you can move it, or is it more how much weight you actually have on there?
The weight categories, which I'll go through, is the under 80s, under 90s, 105s, and opens men's.
Yep.
So if you're 110 kilos and I'm 150, we go against each other.
Yeah.
So obviously it pays to be a little bit lighter. Otherwise, be strong and a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Depends on the event. Obviously, every competition is different. So whether it focuses on heavy weight for a small distance or a lighter weight for a speed run. So it depends on who runs the competition, what it's for. Whether it's like New South Wales Strongest this year is very much a moving competition. So it's about picking heavy weights up, moving them, loading them, picking and moving. Whereas a couple of comps ago last year was very much a heavy yoke. I think it was 4 or 5. And you had to get that 20 metres as fast as possible.
Yeah, man.
So, but it was still heavy weight.
Yeah,
But you just had to focus on that one motion.
Yeah.
All right, so go for a pick.
That about good?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, take a step. That's it. Head up. That's it. So all the way across, down. All right. Did you want to go heavier on this and then go into the farmers, or do you want to just go through the motions?
No, let's go a little heavier.
Go a little bit heavier?
Yeah.
All right.
So in terms of like weight distribution and stuff, like it's just got to be like opposite.
Yeah,
opposite
so we
corners.
focus on doing it on either end, only because obviously if you put 2 plates on the front, as you then pick up, you're then going to go straight forward.
Yeah.
Vice versa on the back.
It's cool that you don't have to have 4 equal plates on each one, like seeing like.
As long as it's even weight on all
Yeah,
4 and it's
yeah.
a balance, think of it like a scale.
Yeah.
Providing you've got the equal weight on both sides, you shouldn't have any issues.
Yeah.
Just focus on little steps and getting into the rhythm of going from this end to that end with no drops. All right?
Sweet.
That's it. And then just little steps. That's it. A little bit longer. There you go. Short, sharp breaths. So keep going. And drop a knee. Just like that. That was 150 kilos.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so that was 50 kilos more than your squat lift would be.
Yeah.
You don't look at those sort of weights as I can squat 100, so I'm only going to do 100 kilos. As I mentioned earlier, your yoke, because it's only a quarter squat of sorts.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, my squat's 300 kilos, but I've moved 425 on this.
150 would like way tougher. Like you could sort of feel everything. Even like the little steps. I think there was one I took where I think like I shifted like slightly and could just feel like, well, I'm like balanced. It was all right, but if it was heavy, I reckon I was.
Yeah, so the thing with the yoke
Wasn't
as well is, the reason why I say little feet is because as you take that step, if you go too far, you've then created that inconsistency in the body. So it then starts to wobble. Now, trying to recorrect that wobble as you then hit the edges is a burden on your core. And by doing that and dropping, you've then got to then re-pick, go again, and it takes more effort and time.
Yeah.
So
It's cool, like seeing the strongman athlete, like obviously a ton of them are like bigger. They're super strong, but like they're big, but But just imagining like the core strength required to do
Absolutely.
some of their events.
Perfect example of that would be the Stoltman brothers, who are currently on the world scene. Like they're big boys.
Yeah.
But same thing. They've still got the abs.
Yeah.
Like they're still strong.
Yeah.
Like they've still got the abs as well.
Yeah. So how do you dictate like the weight on a farmer's?
So farmers, think of it like a trap deadlift. It's your either side, but it's depending on your grip. So you're only going to ever be able to lift how much you can actually hold.
It's like when you're a kid and you're waking up on Christmas Day and like opening all your presents and not sure what everything is and getting all jet. Like I'm coming in here not understanding any of the equipment, and then when he explains it to me, it's like holy shit. He's got this like Hercules lift here that he was explaining to me. This place is so cool. I'm like a kid in a playground. This is the best.
All right, so the next event is we're going to be using the farmers, okay? The best way to describe farmers is basically going shopping, taking all in one load. You're going to stand, grab the handles in the very middle of the handle. From there, you're then going to stand directly up, again, like the yoke. You're going to pick first. Don't worry about running just yet.
Yep.
Once you get a comfortable stance, it's then just a matter of 1 foot in front of the other. You can step a little bit further on this because you govern where the handle is and where it moves. Just obviously don't throw it. You want to keep it as close to the body as possible on each movement. You've still got a bit more room to play with your hands before they let go to that point there. Okay, obviously we're not going to go super heavy today, but it gives you an idea. So go through a pick. So standing up through the heels. Now, like I mentioned with the yoke, you want to focus on being chest proud, head high. Because again, the arms are dead straight. Once you're there, it's just a matter of holding the weight. So once you're in that top stance, it's just about taking a step and focusing on the core all the way through.
Sweet.
And the dismount, just like the yoke, is very much taking a knee. So go. Just like that.
Okay.
When we start loading weight, obviously you don't step as far because you're going to kick a weight, but you also don't want your feet in between either, underneath the plate. Once you pick it up, you don't want to be...
Oh, okay,
I've done that. I would not recommend. Straight down, or... and then stand. Okay? They're the two dismounts. It's whatever feels preference for you. So basically straight in, up, go for your walk, do what you need to do. Straight down, and then you can step over as you start getting heavier.
Sweet.
So sets and reps all depends on what the event the athlete is leading to. So some events do a 15-meter straight run, or they'll do a 10 and 10. So depending, a lot of our guys that if they're leading towards a comp with a 10 and 10, we'll usually do 3 to 4 sets of 10 meters there, 10 meters back, or we'll break it up and then go 20 meters in one long run and focus on building that group strength. So obviously we've gone up in weight now. We need to focus on bracing that core from the very get-go, and you want to focus on most of the strength coming through the knees, through the glutes, pressing directly up. Good. And then step in front. That's it, just like that. So a little bit further and down.
Can we try a little heavier?
If you like.
Yeah. What's it?
So this is currently 60 a hand.
60 a hand.
How heavy are you?
73.
All right, we'll grab 15 and make it 70, so you do it per hand.
Okay.
Your goal for here is to pick it directly up, and then as you did on the last one, take small steps and focus on making it down to the other end.
I've got to think about the dismount, like something like this.
Exactly right.
So this is more than my body weight now,
so
right?
This
each
is
hand?
75 kilos per hand.
Yeah, all right.
Thumbs around. So again, focus on the pick. Big brace. And then starts walking. That's it. Good. All the way. Want to focus on making the whole 10 meters on this. So that black line, focus on that black line at the end. Keep going. Keep going. That's it. Down. You then have to cross over the whole way to make it count. But that's still 150 kilos in total. 10 meters.
Take it. I'll take it. That was cool. I didn't think I had it, so that was mad. I've always seen people like talk about like you want to be able to do more than your body weight on a farmer's carry. And I only ever like train with dumbbells and stuff at home. I don't have this sort of equipment, so thought we're here. I've got to give it a crack. And wasn't feeling as confident, but we did it. We got there.
Good. Easy weight.
I was coming in here feeling like I was part of Game of Thrones, and I started off feeling like I was, is it the Mountain, the real big guy? And now I'm feeling more like Dwarf King after seeing that dude just pull 300 for 3. These guys are beasts, man.
So for the next event, which is going to be the log,
Yep.
what you want to do to warm up is you're going to grab some dumbbells.
Yep.
You're going to start from the ground, up and press.
Neutral grip.
Keeping your hands neutral grip.
Yep. So I found doing that farmer's carry just like lit my lats up, like my back, just from like bracing the whole time. It almost has that like crampy sort of feeling, which I wasn't sort of expecting. I was expecting just like the grip to go straight away, but yeah, that was brutal. That was tough.
So, the log press, okay, as you can see, is very much to replicate a timber log.
Yeah.
Like this one over here.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll see that one in the World's Strongest Man, the big timber logs, or
Yeah.
the Austrian oak as they call it. It's got the big tines of rope around it. And
Yeah.
they can go anywhere from 160 right up to 200 kilos. So it varies in weight. This one today is only 43 kilos, okay? But our goal today for you is to work to at least one rep,
Yep.
the timber one. Now, I break both the log and the stones down into 3 movements, okay? The first one's a deadlift.
Yep.
Take a couple of steps back, squatting into it, compressing up high on the chest, elbows high. From here, you're going to thrust it up. From here, straight press.
Yeah, right.
All right? Then on the way back down to your chest, take a step forward and control it down to here.
Yeah.
If you have got a good hip thrust all the way up, the roll is obviously going to be nice and strong, and then the press is easy. Okay, elbows high. So, yep.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're going to roll it up your chest. That's it. So up higher. So you want your elbows up nice and high, and up in and high. And then from there, shoulder press. That's it. And down and off to the tire. You focus on up high. Have it right under your chin. Have it touching your chin. Bang.
And for me to do that, I was sort of having to lean.
You have to incline yourself a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
that's okay.
Yeah. So Alex was explaining this one to me before. Again, like I know none of the equipment here. Like it's still like a giant playground. He said it's like a Conan the Barbarian sort of walk. So as you like Zercher lift it up, and then you're just doing like giant weighted circle walking. It looks brutal. Obviously, we can't do it now while everyone's training, but really cool. Hey.
So yeah, roll it forward. Yep. Deadlift first. Good. All right, from high with the legs, just like that. Down the toe. How's that feel?
Not too bad.
Yep, so that's currently 53 at the moment. Okay. It's the same circumference.
Yeah.
The only difference to this log is the handles are a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So when you are up on your chest, you're going to feel every bit of it. Okay. Because the handles are a little bit deeper, it's going to sit on the chest a lot heavier. Okay, so it will take your breath away to start. Just back yourself, and from there, go through the push press and lock yourself out.
When I'm there, am I trying to breathe, or is it more?
So your goal is to take one breath from here. So you go through, take another breath from here. That way it'll fill up the stomach, load it up, and then from there it's a short breath to prep the chest up, and then
Short breath out.
no, short breath in. So you want to go puff the chest up, bang. Let's go.
Bit nervous for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Just get it done. So big breath, deadlift first. Take a step back, squatting in, elbows high, big clean up. Good. Up high on the chest, and then from here with the knees, push. Good lift. Down to the chest and down to the tire. Nicely done. Good work.
I was so nervous the whole time, but the actual clean bit that he was doing up, that wasn't too bad. I thought the overhead press would be sweet because I'm push pressing, and I got like halfway, I could feel it wobble, and I think if I was doing this at home by myself, definitely would have dropped it because everyone was in here watching and everyone sort of stopped like, no, I got to get it up. So did it though. So we're ticking boxes today.
So the gentleman just here in the Pro Rule 13 went to GPC Nationals last year, did a 327.5 kilo squat, did a 180 bench and did a 350 deadlift. He's 22 years old and 125 kilos.
I've got to warm up on something.
Absolutely. All right. So the next one is going to be our stones.
Yep.
So Atlas stones, not concrete balls. Okay, they're called a lot of different things. They're called an Atlas stone.
Yeah.
Okay. We have from 34 kilos right up to the 200 kilo stone under there. Now, no one has loaded that. If anyone watching would like to come and have a go, by all means, we welcome you. The closest we have had is the 190 to 1.2 meters. So as you would see in World's Strongest Man, some of them have the big platforms all at one height. Some of them have the platforms at from 1.5 all the way down to 1 meter.
Yeah.
So today we're going to start off with something light, working through the actual movements, and then work up to as far as we can go.
Okay.
And that'll be it for the day. Hands over, because again, you want to be able to roll up your body. So squat in, nice and high up the chest, hands over like the log, and then from there, you want to stand up with the chest and pop forward. Like that. Now, obviously the bigger stone that we get, the closer you're going to be and the lot easier it's going to be.
Yeah.
The smaller ones are a little bit harder to navigate, but it'll make sense once it starts getting higher. Okay?
Sweet.
Make sense?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, we'll start going up.
I don't know how happy I'm going to go with this one. Hey,
Just go where you can.
that was a struggle.
So that's it, knees out. Hands either side, you want to be center of the stone. So picking first. All right, and down. Hands over, because what you're going to do is you're going to roll up your body.
Good like that.
Yep. And then explode up. All right. So how'd that feel?
It was, I think like, I was a bit scared technique-wise that I probably like didn't give it a proper crack. So it's like, I think there's so much skill and even like just the initial lift. Like it's not like a normal deadlift one.
Correct.
Yeah, it's like, it's a really awkward start and just keeps getting awkwarder. But I reckon we could go up a little bit.
Hand over, elbows high. Yep, and then rolling it up the body. That's it. Just like that. Nice work, mate.
So we've just finished our Strongman episode. It was a ton of fun. I've got so much respect for these guys. I already had that going in, but just like the amount of weight they're moving and the risk they're putting their body out doing that, like you've got to brace perfectly every time. Like you got to set yourself up perfectly every time. Like you can't afford to be off because your risk of like seriously injuring yourself is so high. So I guess the risk to reward thing's really cool as well. Like actually being able to lift more than my body weight on the farmer's carry for each arm. The like pure joy of like hitting one of those massive lifts. Like I felt so proud after it, and getting the actual log up. Like I didn't think I was going to be able to do that today and got it. And you have this like real sense of like achievement and joy. The equipment they have is incredible. As I mentioned before, it's like a giant playground for me. And this is the best like strongman gym you're going to find in New South Wales. So if you're on the South Coast, you've got to come down and check this place out. It's such a cool place to train, and the equipment they have here, you're not going to find anywhere else. Like the Hercules like pool that we're doing at the end, I think they're the only gym in New South Wales to have it. So man, it's well worth the trip down to try it out. So a massive thank you to Alex Downs and all the crew at South Coast Strongman. Incredible gym. They were so nice and so kind to let us come through and try everything and sort of working around us. I can't thank of them enough.